Test, test, test. Greetings terrain makers. This is part 2 of the Mysterious Tree tutorial series. I recommend to watch part 1 so you can check out how this terrain was constructed. This video is about adding a few details and painting. I decided to advance with the idea of an undead spawning point, a necromantic energy source that brings skeletons and dead bodies back to life. A good place for all warlocks that focus on the black arts of magic. If you are looking for tools and materials for terrain making, check out Tabletop terrainlenny.com. There's a list of products that I recommend. With the necromantic idea in mind, I added a skeleton that works its way out of the dirt. These skeletons are from the GW Warrior box and offer great details for all kind of fantasy terrain. I used a mixture from filler paint and sand to embed this little fella into the soil. A good amount of fine sand adds nice texture to the soil mix. Clean up rocks and ruins to keep the details that might get covered by filler sharp. Add sand to achieve more soil diversity. Start with a chunky grain and glue finer sand around. Wood glue or PVA is ideal. The styrofoam inside the LED cave gets sealed with filler mixture too. Ready to paint. Slate gray for the rocks and ruins. A ultra matte medium is an option to make your paint less shiny. The finished product looks more realistic. The matte surface is nice for taking pictures of your terrain, cause it do not reflect light that much. Slate gray is a good alternative to neutral gray paints. It has a little of green and brown to it. It looks less artificial. Raw umber is a good choice if you want to paint dark soil. The lavender tree and the metal parts get primed in black. The shiny holes get darkened too. Painting details, weapons, chains and armor in brass, copper and steel. Bones in beige. Everything gets washed with raw umber. This step merges all elements together. Wash mix consists of water, paint and matte medium. Washing the soil with black wash. Brush off drops and puddles of wash. dry brushing the rocks and ruins with slate gray. You can see this layer because of the darkening effect of the previous black wash. Followed by a sandy or beige color. Use the same brush and do not clean it. The remaining gray mixes into the beige. Wipe off nearly the complete paint, especially when you dry brush very bright paint to a dark prime surface. Time to add vegetation. Woodlands fine turf mixed into wood glue. Add a drop of water and a drop of dark green. Brush it on and sprinkle it with more turf. A thicker wood glue is nice to apply clump foliage and hanging moss or lichen. It is kind of a sticky paste or putty. This is a foam foliage on a fiber material from the company named Bush. Check out Tabletop Terrain, landy.com for product recommendations. Fine turf blends it all together. The turf gets sealed and dimmed with a very thin wash of green and wood glue, just water and a tiny drop of glue and paint. Painting details by applying layers of dark ochre wash. Green wash for the copper and brass parts, and dry brushing beige highlights for the stone areas. Green wash to darken the turf in potentially more moist areas. And beige dry brushing on the tree. A few spots get black washed. This creates more contrast, light and shadow, a more dynamic appearance. This terrain is ready to spawn some undead threats to the ruins of Morstedt. If you like this kind of content, make sure you ring the bell and hit that subscribe button. If you want to keep this terrain train rolling, check out the links in the description below. Follow on Instagram, like on Facebook or become a patron. Link, like and share. Reminding, We already released a bunch of PDF tutorials about terrain making on Patreon, so consider to join and get the monthly terrain magazine for only $2. As mentioned, there is a list on Tabletop Terrain Lenny, where I recommend tools and materials for terrain modeling. This is an easy way to support the channel. If you have any questions or critics, drop a comment. Cheers and keep on making terrain.